All right, what's up, Las Vegas?
What's up, Vegas? What's going on, Vegas?
All right, good morning,
All right, good
everybody.
morning, guys.
Welcome back to Global Entrepreneurship Network. My name is Elias Balon, and I'm excited to be joined today with Suriel Cruz and Jheyson Urias. Both of y'all, thank you so much for joining today.
Yeah, thank you. So, it's awesome to be here,
Yeah,
24/7, pretty much.
right. So let's Jheyson, why don't you start off by introducing yourself? Tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing here in Vegas.
All right, so my name is Jheyson Urias. I work at the videographer Realty Group here at Simply Vegas. More importantly, before we start, I just want to say huge thank you to you guys and huge congratulations. This is a huge event. That you guys are connected with entrepreneurs like all over, not here in Vegas, but also other states. I'm assuming worldwide as well. And I think not everybody has or understands the importance of that, right?
Yeah,
65% of you know employees here and everybody that's employed, they work
right.
from a small business.
Yeah.
So it's good that you guys are putting this out there so more people can be aware of that. Again, I'm a realtor here in Vegas. I've been doing this for about 3 years full time. We have a team as well, and we just love helping people, whether getting their first home, next investment, short term, long term. And yeah, that's a little bit about what I do so far.
Yeah, Jheyson. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And it's real. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
We double mic'd him.
I was like, I guess I'll get this mic. Oh yeah, so my name's Suriel. We're with Elias. I think you guys see me everywhere with him. So it's pretty much his videographer guy. So make his content as for Elias and all the stuff here. And been here in Vegas since I was 3 years old. Mexican, Latino, uh, you know, speak two languages. So it's awesome to be part of it, and also helping manage and do behind the scenes here and everything that you guys are seeing on social media.
Heck yeah, yeah. Surreal, definitely. If folks need videography, photography services, definitely hit him up. Great at making content. And I think we got a Black Friday deal that's going to be super epic to talk about in the future. Just quick, reflection. I've been an entrepreneur since I was, officially since I was like 14, like officially making money and doing things like that. And so I always felt like the youngest entrepreneur. But now I feel, blessed to be surrounded by younger entrepreneurs. Which is pretty incredible. I mean, how long, when did the entrepreneurial bug bite you, Jheyson?
Okay, so congratulations from 14. That's a big accomplishment. I thought, aren't you like 22?
I'm like 28, so
Dude,
I
no
do now. I
way.
tell people like I've designed websites literally half my life now.
They're like, dude, you look like like our age, like 23,
Thank
22.
you,
Like
thanks.
you're doing great, brother.
I appreciate it.
So the reason why I got into real estate and entrepreneurship, honestly, I'm gonna say it was just purely out of desperation. And what do I mean by that? Okay,
Mhm.
it's 2020. Obviously you guys
COVID.
are aware, COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
I was a cook,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like the best, more important thing to take out of this is that a lot of entrepreneurs start, for, maybe they want to get inspired, they want to have the free time, whatever, right? They want to become better opportunity for their family. And that's kind of how it started for me. I saw my parents get into real estate investment long term at a
Yeah.
very basic level,
Okay. That's
right?
good.
Like we can only see from like the outside in type
Yeah.
thing. And I thought, I'm gonna start selling houses. I'm gonna making all this money. I'm gonna be rich essentially, right? And even though I'm doing pretty well, it's not as bright as people make it seem, right? It's not
Right.
just showing a
Mhm.
house and getting on the market and having a deal. Like that's not really how it works. There's so much things going on. And the main reason why, down the back around on why I like entrepreneurship is because it gets to do this, form a community,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
networking with you guys. I learned that a lot. So when I started, I was kind of like, I'm just trying to make the next check, right? I pure desperation. I don't have
Yeah.
another thing to
It's
do.
important.
Yeah. But it turned out to be this beautiful thing that I'm so grateful that I'm part of now, part of community with you guys, part of the real estate community with everybody in here. In Vegas. Vegas is a very supportive entrepreneur city. I feel like
Mhm.
it's very hard to
Definitely.
find.
Yeah.
But Vegas is very, very, very focused on entrepreneurship. There's events going on all the time, real estate. There's car clubs dedicated to flipping cars.
Right.
Mhm.
There's so much out there.
Yeah, definitely.
How long have you been in real estate again?
3 years.
That's incredible. just a comment real quickly because you mentioned, it started off as desperation and, looking from the outside in, real estate could seem like a really enticing industry, and obviously it is. But then, there's this like reality check that sometimes happens. And I think that happens regardless of industry. I think no matter what industry you pick, the way I think about it is you're picking a car, you're picking a vehicle, you get into the vehicle, you start the car, and you're going to start driving. And what some people do to their own detriment, unfortunately, is they hop out that car and hop in the other car in the opposite direction because they saw shiny object syndrome. So I think just stick with it because anything that you pick will ultimately require hard work, right? There's nothing going around it. But what about you, Surreal? What when did the entrepreneurial bug bite you? What was your first set of like entrepreneurial experiences?
Trading like trading like so so my first entrepreneurship was started very young age. I was like maybe like in like elementary. I was in elementary. I started selling candy like in
cool.
my own community, in my
Nice. What
apartments.
kind of candy?
Mexican candy. You
Okay.
know that Mexican candy everybody loves. The chamoy. We're talking about the Mexican stuff. So my grandma's like, let's start a bit candy business. Let's start selling it. It's like, are you down to go out there and tell your friends that everyone wants candy? And then everybody's like, I told them, oh, you guys want a piece of candy? Like, and they're like, what you guys get it? I'm like, I'm selling it. Like in elementary, 11.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was like my first thing that I started doing, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Then we had a competition, and like the year before.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
My earlier entrepreneurial experience, I was selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards,
Yeah.
and Pokemon cards, but I would sell it to parents. So I'd be like, "This is a rare card. You gotta buy it for your kid." But yeah, no, that's really cool.
That's
So
how the journey
so
started.
that's awesome, Cyril.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I mean, both of y'all are in really fast-growing industries right now. I mean, Cyril, videography is growing really fast, and video is going to continue to be big. And
Yeah.
Jheyson, real estate's really big too. I mean, we'll start with just real. I mean, what can you tell us like about video marketing and social media marketing right now? Like, why is it growing so fast and becoming more competitive?
One, I feel like we live in an attention, economy attention,
Yeah,
economy
attention
or
economy.
attention economy,
Mhm.
where the attention is all on all platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. It's all platforms. More than ever. Being a brand, being that name. Being getting attention in social media is super important.
So to get attention, I mean, how many times does somebody need to post a week
I would
to
say
get
like
attention?
I would say like 700,000 if you want to.
Oh yeah, so unlimited amount of time.
Unlimited.
How much do you post
I
on it?
post every day,
Like how many times a day?
like every day,
Yeah,
24/7 sometimes.
yeah, like how many times?
It's one post every day, so
At least one post or
yeah,
more?
I think it's more.
Okay.
It's I haven't even
sure.
counted because I'm most active 24/7.
I think Jheyson, do you listen to Alex Hormozy or Gary Vaynerchuk or anybody like that? Some of the influencers in the social media space.
So I'm a big fan of Alex.
Yeah.
I think Alex has a very good sense of what's going on in the world. I mean,
Right.
he's built multi-million-dollar companies.
Yeah.
So I listen to a lot about what he says.
Yeah. That's great. One of the things he said, you may have heard this, was somebody asked him, he was like kind of recounting this story. He was like, hey Alex, I want to build my social media channel up. Like I have, 30,000 followers, whatever I had. And Alex said, how much are you posting, a week? And he goes, I'm posting once a day. And Alex goes, okay, well, that's not enough. He goes, well, how much, what do you mean? And Alex goes, well, I'm posting 300 times a month across all of my channels. And so, I think, and Gary Vee also had the same answer, like post an unlimited amount of times, because, as humanly possible because of the attention economy, right? Like we're getting attention for free right now just by going live and producing this content. And so,
And also to remember that your other content,
yeah,
you could be recording on a camera like this,
right.
or also going into a lot of podcasts. You can be invited to a lot of podcasts. Building when you get invited to a lot of podcasts, you could just repurpose those videos.
How do you repurpose them?
Like I mean, use video AI. You just get 14 clips and more. You have content for so many weeks.
Yeah. So for folks that are tuning in, go to video.ai. It's video.ai. You plug in a 40-minute podcast,
Yeah,
you
a
get
30
like what?
minute,
How many videos you normally
like
get out of that?
14, 10, 12, you know. And there's another one that came out too. That
That's solid.
so it's
Oh
solid.
yeah,
So
there's a ton.
it's so we're living an easier era where content is easier to produce, you know.
For sure. For
You know,
sure.
more than ever. So
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah, thank you. You know, I want to talk a little bit about real estate because real estate's also a booming market here in Las Vegas. And you know, I'm curious because of all of the advancements in sports that Vegas has made, that it's attracting a lot more people to come move to Vegas. I think I saw a study that said by 2040 we're expecting to have a 3 million Vegas population, like another 500,000 people or something like that. Like, are you seeing that in your day-to-day real estate work yet, or like what are you seeing in the real estate market?
Right. So what I see from like my experience, right? We have a lot of people from California moving in.
Yeah.
I think on average, if you want to get statistics, it's like I think like 8 people an hour move to Vegas, and
An hour?
yeah,
Oh,
and reality is that's a lot. Think
yeah.
about it, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah. So, and these people are looking for rentals. They're looking for a home to buy, and the reality for us locals here is like home ownership is becoming a little bit unaffordable for
Yes.
the locals here
Yeah.
because wages haven't gone up in forever. I think like the medium here in Vegas is like 18, $20 an hour, but that's been since I was like 15, 14. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted to get to the $20 an hour.
Yeah.
And even though that may have made a good living back then, it doesn't now.
Right.
Everybody can make 100K now, and 100K
Yeah.
is not a big impact anymore.
Yeah.
I do see the F1 especially is coming here on November 16. I do see, the Aces are coming here as
Right.
well. I think we bought like a women's basketball team as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of sports. People love sports. I love the community aspect of it. Yeah, the Raiders are here too. So there's a bunch of things here in Vegas that
Yeah.
are attracting all these people here.
Yeah.
We see it on the traffic. We get it on the calls of people trying to find a place to live.
Mm-hmm.
People trying to sell their places because they're trying to get out of Vegas now too because it's becoming too busy.
Yeah.
So I do foresee Vegas becoming one of those major cities that it's gonna be. We're used to be Sin City. Now we're the number one entertainment capital of the world.
For sure. We're a fun city now.
Right.
Do you do a lot of first-time home buyers, or do you try to steer towards luxury? What kind of niche are you, or you're serving everyone right now? What direction do you go normally?
Okay, so I think if everybody was to come to me for buying a home,
Mm-hmm.
I really do my niche is buyers. I
Yeah.
do some homes. We list homes as well.
Right.
But I really kind of like how you said in the beginning, right? If you are hopping in and out of industries, hopping in and out of different niches, one thing is for sure, like Alice Ramosi said, it's not going to work right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to grunt out the very, very beginning of, I work, it's no results. Work, no results, right?
Yeah.
So I started, with first-time home buyers, helping a lot of like the friends around me.
Great.
Getting into the first home. I had the privilege of helping one of my best friends from high school.
That's
and that was one of
amazing.
my first clients. And then they bought and sold a home, and then they referred me out to somebody. So it kind of just started out like that.
Yeah. That must have been a great feeling, by the way, right? Like
It
helping
is
somebody do that.
honestly that's what got me hooked into it. Being able to see the emotions of people buying in the first place, it's a
Yeah.
big emotion.
Yeah.
And now I think even now more importantly, what my niche is becoming a home buyer specialist. And what I mean by that is a lot of people think you need 2 years of taxes, you need perfect credit, you need to have 20% down of income to be 20% down for a house. In reality, that's not the case.
Right.
There is a million ways to buy a home, and the realtor that you choose matters.
Yep.
Creative financing is something that has become such important now, especially with higher
Definitely.
rates.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People are looking at $3,000 for a mortgage, and that's
Right.
even though for the regular Vegas person, the Vegas local, that's expensive.
Totally.
However, if you wanted to come to me, my niche is to finding ways to helping people get to that more affordable payment, whether that's a owner carry deal, a sub-2 deal, or taking over someone else's mortgage, things like that. Like that's what you come to me for. You come to me when you want to find a good deal where other realtors have looked
Mm-hmm.
and they haven't been able to find it. And that has been this year my thriving point to be able to get people into an investment or a home.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You must definitely have to network a lot, right? In terms of like getting the right lending partners and also identifying like those homes that an owner would do the mortgage transfer or something along those lines. And then there's also down payment assistance programs and other programs. Can you talk about some of those resources you have in your toolkit to help people?
Okay, yeah. So I'm not a licensed mortgage advisor or nothing
For
like
sure.
that, but I do have and work with great partners.
Yeah.
Um, first-time home buyers, they do, if they have under their criteria, they do have the down payment assistance programs,
Right.
and they're great. Especially if you just want to get your foot in the door for real estate and you don't necessarily have the funds to get there. What most people don't realize is, and one of my biggest wins has been people getting money back at closing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how it works. Okay, say for example, you take a $300,000 home, very average price point here in Vegas for a starter home.
Yeah.
You don't have the down payment. Okay, cool. You come to somebody like me, one of my lender partners, and you tell us the situation. Right? It's so important that you get in front of a realtor so you're able to get diagnosed. Kind of when you go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You told me I don't have any money, but I do have good credit and I do have good income, and I've been responsible with my finances. I just happen not to have no savings. I said, great. All right, let's get you pre-approved, see what you qualify for. Up to a certain amount, the down payment will cover like a 3.5 up to 4%.
Yeah.
So now you don't have down payment. Now the cool thing about that is I was able to negotiate as well closing cost, which is the other second big expense that people don't understand. And now you're potentially getting into your house for free. So you will get a check at the end of escrow, a check back to you for your EMD or whatever's left over of it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that has been my experience on down payment assistance programs. I love them. If you don't have money, you have funds, get with a realtor and we're able to help you.
Yeah, for sure. And the state definitely has some good programs, and there's some federal programs too. If you get in there in time, make sure there's some money. Kind of passing it back to you, Surreal. You've done some real estate photography and videography
Yeah.
before. What is your favorite type?
Man, it's so hard to choose. I've done like real estate photography as a small properties, fourplex, apartments, high rise.
Right.
Jason took me to a high rise the other time in downtown. Got to see the high rise. That was an awesome view. The
Oh,
jewel
which
at
high rise was that?
the jewel at the jewel. It was at the jewel.
Hey,
down-
Coach Amber J.
Hey guys, so it was at the Jewel. We went there last time. We went to record content, and also $20 million properties.
Yeah.
Those,
Yeah. So I bet you like the high rises, and
Yeah.
of course, Aspire Design Studios.
Yeah,
They do
Aspire
really great
Design.
content.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, they do really great homes.
Yeah, they go home still.
And so, kind of pivoting back to you, Jheyson, with the direction of Formula One and Super Bowl, right? Like Formula One is supposed to be a 10-year commitment here in Las Vegas. So, you have all these like billionaire race car drivers and their fans spending $9,000 a ticket or whatever that price may be, and bringing their whole family here, right? So just do some quick math. I mean, if you brought your family of 10, uncle, brother, whatever, and their, kids, you could easily there are probably tourists coming into Vegas this month that are easily spending 100 to $250,000 on just their experience here in Vegas. And I think there's going to be a huge implication on affordable housing and real estate for sure. I think what we're going to see is a boom in luxury home development. And so what are how are you approaching that? Because I think it could be a huge opportunity for you, on the luxury side. But at the same time, it's probably going to make it harder on some of your first-time home buyer clients.
All right. So let's address it in 3 different parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. From my experience so far right now, if you guys were to think about, the past couple of years, something that was booming here in Vegas was Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Short-term
they
rentals,
regulated it.
midterm rentals. And I think now what the state has done is like they've made it so restricted for you to do something very close to it. And I'm going to get to the point of the first-time home buyers and why would it affect luxury as well, right?
Yeah.
So by them doing that, what they're doing is like they're cutting income of a lot of people.
Mhm.
There was properties from 200,000, 100,000, up to $1 million being Airbnb'd. I know my boy, Simply Vegas, Jason Griggs, he has the biggest Airbnb in Vegas. And, so it has affected a lot of businesses because Airbnb, that's what it is, right? It's a business.
Yeah.
So I do foresee those homes coming back in the market, especially those lower end ones.
Mhm.
Okay. But I also see, from my experience, I do have a client who does have Airbnbs. And if you guys want to get the location for this specific one, hit me up afterwards. his for Formula One is facing right back
Oh,
from
that's cool.
from the street.
Nice.
So right now, I think he has to rent it just for the whole month because he wanted to rent it for the month. He was not
Yeah.
going to take dailies or nothing like
Yeah,
that.
of course.
I think he has to rent it for like 10K.
Yeah.
And it's facing right at that
Mhm.
street where the cars will pass by.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you divide it up, it's obviously a person has a big balcony. You can see the race from the comfort of your own stay.
Yeah.
Right. And I see all those major facing high luxury high rises, regular condos too. I see all that becoming very, very expensive in the
Right.
future.
Yeah.
Again, pushing out people from first time home buyers out of the market. Right now we only have about 2 months worth of inventory. If interest rates drop any lower, I feel like below 6
Mhm.
is gonna have so much
It's going to become a
impact.
huge seller's market, right?
It's already a seller's
Yeah.
market. People don't understand, like they think because rates are high, it's expensive. But
Mhm.
we just put an offer in a place like yesterday, and there was like 5 offers in there already,
Oh, wow.
even with 8% interest rates.
Yeah.
You know, so people have to understand, like right now it's the best time because you can
Mhm.
get concessions to buy down your rate, make your payment more affordable.
Right. Yeah. That's, it's crazy you mentioned that because, 5 or 8, offers on a home in this market, with interest rates sounds like a lot, but just a year and a half or 2 years ago, I think there was as many as 60 offers on a home, 20 offers on homes, and that was the status quo. And
Right.
so that is crazy. Um, we had Dr. Marta Soligo on the show with us yesterday, and she's a director of tourism for UNLV. And so what we talked a lot about was the impact of over tourism and the impact of tourism in general on communities. And one thing that I think back to, because I spent some time in Hawaii, I also spent some time in Malta. And these are both islands that have been like impacted by tourism and over tourism, and there's only so much land that you can build on an island, right? And so every single home, like a starter home here in Vegas, that same home in Hawaii would be like $1 million or $900,000 because you just ran out of places to kind of build. And I worry that Las Vegas is kind of headed in that same direction, with a lot of our land being locked up by the BLM. Um, do you see, being a newer to the industry, I always hope like folks that are newer to things kind of have like a more open mind to different ideas and stuff. Like, do you see any solutions coming down the pipeline for locals, or are locals going to get priced out and our generation is not going to be able to buy homes in this market?
All right, so that's a great question. Touching back, I started my career actually in that era where it was very,
Okay.
very, very
Yeah.
competitive. But at the same time, I don't think it's a better way to get your license at that time as well, because deals were coming to you left and right, right? So here's my solution. Okay. Without having to go so much into detail, I
Yeah.
think what's gonna become more and more affordable in the norm is gonna be obviously renting
Mm-hmm.
for people who haven't bought a place
Yeah.
yet. Okay.
Yeah.
But I also know and I see it because at the beginning of this year, I got a lot into creative financing. Creative financing basically means you will take the note or the loan out from the seller, you will take over it. He will finance you the whole house if he has paid off.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the year in the MLS, there's probably over 300 homes here in Vegas being offered like that, which may
Oh, wow.
not sound like a lot. It really may not. But now you look at it, there's probably like 125, 100.
Mm-hmm.
So people are picking up into this.
Yeah.
Now I go back in the MLS and I see, and like a lot more people are offering it.
Yeah.
So I do see that becoming more of a norm,
Mm-hmm.
because people want the more affordable payment. People
course.
want the lower interest rate. And some of these creative financing deals, won't even have an interest rate. Down payment is negotiable, interest rate is negotiable, length of the loan is negotiable. And I think the importance of getting with a realtor or even some mortgage loan officers, they'll do it.
Yeah.
They refer you out to one of their realtor partners that have done it. That's the important part. They have to have done it, because I'll get on the phone, call some of these agents, pitch them an offer, and they'll be like, yo, what is that?
Yeah.
So I do see a lot of those agents getting cut off in the market.
Yeah.
But I also see a lot of great opportunity for first-time home buyers, people who have a little bit of cash saved up, to start getting these properties, even investors too.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's definitely a lot of options, and so Vegas is a growing market, and hopefully that means a lot of opportunity for all of us. And I want to see you all be successful and get a lot more deals in each of your respective businesses. um Surreal, is there anything else that you can share with the audience there? Anything you want to tell folks?
I feel like just talking about everything that's going on, like like it's important to just don't be afraid of just don't be afraid of new opportunities that are coming. Like,
Right.
and also don't be afraid when you're starting a business or you've been in business to fail.
Yeah.
And also just you got to keep on going regardless, no matter what. Sometimes you might say, I work 8 hours, that's enough. But sometimes you gotta work more hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe not even being like no sleep. Like
Sometimes you got to do what you got to
something you
do.
gotta do, you gotta do.
Entrepreneurs
And
are kind
then,
of crazy.
as someone that's been in the game for quite a while and also able to see what consistency
Hmm.
leads to, as as we has I seen Vegas when it was nothing to seeing bigger what's now. You could say that's someone who committed to make things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
that's the world entrepreneurship all of us should do. Oh,
right. Yeah. I mean, Vegas definitely has some of the best entrepreneurs in the world. I mean, if you
yeah,
think about the execution required to put something like the Sphere
yeah,
into play or the Raider Stadium, I mean,
yeah,
multiple billions of dollars, multiple government officials and coalitions and investors, and
yeah,
a strategy that takes like multiple years. I mean, if you look at Fountain Blue as an example of what it could look like for it to be tough,
yeah,
I think it took like 20 or 30 years for Fountain Blue to open up, and they're finally opening up this year.
yeah.
So it's insane.
It's insane what you could do as entrepreneurs, and we collaborate with other entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter you're in different industries.
Yeah.
As me and Jheyson, like we go to the gym together. Oh, well, both of you guys, I go to the gym. 4 a.m. and then my 7, 8,
Right.
9. So,
So how can folks get in touch with you, Surreal?
well, go on Suriel Cruz, Facebook, and then my social medias are Suriel Cruz, official, and all my platforms are all the same.
Awesome. And Jheyson, what do you want to share with folks listening that you may have not touched on yet?
So I want to share, I want to speak to like my Vegas locals.
Yeah.
If you guys are in the need of a home, if you guys are needing to sell a home and buy a new one, contact me first. I would love to get a chance to show you all my different options on how I'm different than other realtors out here, just trying to get that next commission.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like I provide the best options and services in order to have in mind what's best for you and your family's future. Um, you guys, I want to say thank you guys for having me here too. I'm not sure if this is the conclusion, but thank you guys for having me here. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Jheyson_Urias, basically on all platforms. And, I work at Simple Vegas. If you guys ever want to stop by either office.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been fantastic, talking to both of y'all. And it's what are we? I think we have 45 days left for Q4. So let's make the most out of it, because this is 2023 is coming to an end, and we got a lot of work to do. And to your point, Surreal, consistency is what's gonna lead us to success. And so appreciate both of y'all coming, folks. Global Entrepreneurship Week is happening next week. We have tons of different events going on, and so come see us. We actually have an event tonight over at Hakkasan, and so it's free for our entrepreneurs. And so all you got to do is take the flyer. And so right after this, I'm going to go ahead and play that video with all of the events that we have starting tonight all the way through next weekend. And if you want to check out more events, because this video doesn't have all the events, there's more events on our Gen Global website, which would be just look up Global Entrepreneurship Network, go to the website, go to the calendar page, and you can look up all of the Vegas events. But Jheyson, it's real. Really appreciate your hustle and your passion. I know we all got work to do today, but thank you guys so much for coming in this morning to do this podcast with us.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. Honestly, was there. I was like, man, what am I supposed to say?
some people come, a lot of our clients are people who have had success in some capacity, but they're not known for it, right? So they've exited a company or they've done really well in corporate, and now they want to speak or to consult or to, sell a product or a service. So they come. So a lot of people will launch their brand using a book. Yeah. So, but I think you have to have some expertise or knowledge, or have a plan to interview people that have that expertise or knowledge. So most of our clients tend to be people who have done something, they're subject matter expert, and now they're writing the book on that.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. What is the theme that you see with those entrepreneurs that are or leaders that are in the space of like the writing? And do you see kind of a similar theme or a similar flow as like that process, or like what is that, like one moment they're like, I have to do this, I can't like unknow, like you said, like I had this idea, they trashed it, but I knew that it needed to be heard. And I think that's such a good point too, because again, when you have this expert that they've already honed in their craft. You didn't see all the years of honing in the craft to get to that thing, so where you can create the masterpiece in that time frame. And so when now you're utilizing something like AI, it's a tool, it's a resource. It's not to take over, it's not to do for you, it's to enhance and to expedite. But it still is going to take you. And you still have to figure out, okay, what is your voice? And so it doesn't just sound so robotic.
Have you seen folks that have been excellent at getting ChatGPT or another AI tool to adopt their tone of voice?
Yeah. There's some people that are really. My friend Alicia Little, she teaches AI, and I say she speaks robot. Like she just inherently knew how to prompt it, and but also, she spends 2 days sitting there, like like doing micro prompt after prompt. Versus, I think a lot of people think, I'm going to sit down and then write the book, and then it's total garbage. Whereas she would be like, okay, write this story. And she'd like give it some verbal prompts. And then she would say, okay, now add some emotion. I mean, I think the voice piece is the most exciting from a book perspective. But we got rid of copywriters because we had mediocre copywriters writing copy, not ghostwriters. I still think there's some people who have successfully figured out how to micro prompt and get a book out. We need a bio, we need marketing ideas, we need a social media calendar, like all of that stuff. AI does it so well. So we might as well just prompt it and pull it out. So I think that's fantastic. But I was just at 20 Books to 50K is a huge author conference. There's like 3,000 authors all here at the Horseshoe Casino right now. And there's some that have done a beautiful job of pulling from all of the different, like Claude and ChatGPT. Like there's other, it's not just ChatGPT, and they all have different kind of features. And there's some that have done a beautiful job of creating these wrappers, if you will, so that you can just go, okay, I want to use this one and pull it out. Okay, and they're mostly fiction writers, so they're like, I want this character. And I think that usually if you're struggling to pick a lane, or if you think your market is everybody, I just think it's one of those monsters. So figuring out which monster is talking to you, I always say give them a sandwich. You're never going to get rid of them, but just give them a sandwich. It's like a little kid, put them in the back seat, give them a snack. Here, watch a show. Like you're good to go. I'm going anyways. Like you know.
I love that. So you said fear of failure, fear of success,
fear of judgment,
and imposter syndrome. Man, that's
pretty good. Yeah,
I like that one.
So you said you're in Canada, right? And you lived up and down all over. Did you come straight to Vegas after that, or how long have you? What was that journey coming to Vegas? How long have you been here?
I've been in Vegas. Well, COVID. I'm a COVID.
Okay.
COVID brought me here. Yeah. I was in Los Angeles. So originally we came. This is such a typical, like most people think I'm crazy, but entrepreneurs won't. So my husband got into acting because we were in real estate, and he got a little bored, and so he got into acting, and later in life, and we're about 4 or 5 years into it, and I'm getting impatient. So I'm like, you know what? Like these bit parts that you get in Vancouver, you want to do comedy, let's just move to Los Angeles. But you got to have a visa. So we looked at the different visas, and I'm like, well, I'll go look to see if I can buy a business. So I spent 6 weeks off and on in LA looking for a business.
But anyways, after I licked my wounds from that, doing what entrepreneurs need to do, it's you pivot and you pivot to the markets. And so I've been, focused on that, and it is kind of mind blowing in terms of, what is possible. I mean, the productivity, like the output is 10 times plus, if not 100 times more compared to last year. Like, you know, it's insane. And, you know, even the book, I use ChatGPT to help me, you know, work through my thoughts and, you know, plug in research and stuff like that. And so I can't imagine where it's going next.
I see Global Entrepreneurship Week as a way to bring people together and to showcase and highlight what everyone's doing. One thing I love about Las Vegas is it is a big little city. We have global recognition, but it is a small town, and you can run into the same people at one event in the morning and at the same event or a different event that evening all the way across town, because we're all doing everything that we can to move this.
So it's interesting that you mentioned the topic of Venice, because Venice is doing very bad, unfortunately. So they have crazy problems related with what is called over tourism. So too many tourists, right? I don't know if you know that starting from next year, they're going to have an entrance fee of €5, $5 to go to Venice. If you want, it's going to become like a museum, with a big debate with the locals saying, okay, we are officially like Disneyland right now. So the problem is that, okay, an entrance, first of all, an entrance ticket, I think we can agree, of $5 is not going to stop people to go. The other thing that I wanted to say is that, though, this is what I called, and this doesn't work, what I call Band-Aid solution.
You know, why are you passionate about tourism? I mean, did it impact like the community that you grew up in? Like, is there a story there that you can share?
Absolutely. I grew up, I'm Italian, as you probably understood. I'm Italian, born and raised in Italy in a small town close to Milan. When I was 5, my dad moved to Padua, which is close to Venice, and then he started working in Venice. So I was going every weekend to the Venice area. We were going around to museums, to the coast. So tourism has always been part of my DNA, traveling. And I really liked it. And then I fell in love with the concept of, I wanted really to analyze the relationship between entertainment, the entertainment industry, and tourism.
One challenge that I see in Las Vegas with entrepreneurs and business owners is really that so many see us as this entertainment and hospitality space, which, yes, that is true. But again, there is so much more past the strip, and with the transient type of feel that we have here in our city, sometimes getting the resources that we need in order to scale and grow a business can be a bit challenging. And so that's why we wanted to bring Global Entrepreneurship Week here to Las Vegas to not only bring those resources together, but build connections, build relationships, and again, help you thrive here in Las Vegas.
One of the communities that's really near and dear to my heart is the Promise neighborhood community of Las Vegas. And we're partnered with Nevada Partners, Inc. It's a local nonprofit that's really focused on serving the Promise neighborhood communities here in Vegas. And we have an initiative out of Nevada Partners called Promise Startups. Every first Saturday, we host the Promise Startups Conference. It's an opportunity for residents and entrepreneurs to get together to get access to resources like UNLV, our incubator program, micro grants, access to mentors, and so much more. And so we really invite you to come out to the conference. It's going to be a blast to have you there. It's every first Saturday.